lead to, and like, you used to do the Tonight Show with Carson, and if you did great and got called over, maybe you'd have a sitcom afterwards. But none of it was that far. None of it. My dream has always been do comedy, and anything else like that I would get would only be to maybe service that. Like I would love to be more famous so I could do more comedy. I would love to, if somebody, like Patton Oswalt doing King of Queens, and now he's able to go and get more famous as a comedian, that kind of thing. I would love that. Like, but the idea of like, I want a sitcom just for the sake, like, or any of that, it would only be to get to do more.
What about
so
anything?
If this podcast can make me that famous,
you're about to get the "Oh man, that's awful" bump, my friend.
The bump is coming.
You're not even ready. The throng that's going to beat you downstairs. Yeah. What about not even like professionally though? Like anything that you had, like Machu Picchu,
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, that's the lucky thing is comedy has taken me around the world, and I was in the Navy before that, so I got to see a lot of the world. Obviously, one of the things you see in the movie, having a kid would have been a big thing. I got married eventually to the girlfriend that was with me when I got diagnosed, but haven't had kids. We're probably past that window now. But that was one of those things that was probably on a bucket list. That see the world, and the rest. I think are crazy enough. I mean, I've had it sounds like I have a cancer and all that. I had a pretty good life. I mean, it is there was a time before Letterman. I think this was probably 2008. I was doing a tour for the military, and you could see one of them in the movie where I'm over in Iraq or Afghanistan. But this was a different one, and we're flying from one show. It was my birthday, and so we did this show, and it was a coalition troop. So there were, Australian troops and British troops and Polish troops, which was I'm Polish, so I was excited that there were some Polish troops there that night. And we did it in this big, warehouse. And then after the show, we were flying a Black Hawk to another base. But afterwards, the guy after me goes, "Hey, it's Steve's birthday, it's his birthday." Right after I finished my set, and so everyone all the coalition troops started singing "Happy Birthday." Aww. So it was magical. Yeah, but then they got to the part like just comedians, people don't remember your name, so they didn't remember. I had just performed, and they didn't remember my name, so they were like, "Happy birthday, dear."
Anybody?
Comedian. Happy birthday to you.
Great.
But it was still magical. And then we get in this helicopter afterwards, and we took some fire. All of a sudden, the gunner in the thing starts shooting down, and we're like, what's going on? They're like, they saw some tracers coming up at us, so he's shooting back. And I remember it was scary, but I just had this magical moment, with the singing. And I remember thinking, like, if this is the last thing, that's a pretty good memory.
Had a good run.
Like I've had a good run. This is before Letterman and everything. So yeah, I maybe that's it. I just watched Whiplash. I do a podcast on movies where I count down the IMDb top 100 movies.
That's cool.
And so we watched Whiplash this week, and Whiplash has that weird. It's the one with J.K. Simmons and the drummer, and he's smacking him like. Do you need to be pushed, or to achieve greatness, or can you achieve it? On your own, and do you have to sacrifice everything else and happiness to be, So I mean, there's always that angle of it. And maybe that's what stopped me is that I have a moment where I'm like, well, if it ends now, it's been pretty good run. Maybe I should be more Orny Adams in Comedian, where he's a tortured soul every second of the day about like I need to be as perfect as possible to the detriment of the rest of your life and happiness. Yeah. But I love that thinking about it. I don't know what the answer is to it, but it's just interesting that was the movie this week, and we were kind of talking about that. Yeah. I don't know.
That's on the top 100 films of all time.
On IMDb, it is.
Whiplash?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it.
I love Whiplash, but
I love it. I think it's that good. He's one of the great villains, cool. I think, of all time.
It's really cool.
He's right up there with Duvall and the Great Santini.
Yeah, I mean, he's fantastic.
I think Miles Teller in that movie is just amazing. Also,
yeah, he's great. I hate that guy, and he's great in that movie. Yeah,
you should also see Spectacular Now. I mean, great those two movies, he's fantastic. Everything else, he picks horrible projects.
Yeah, I just don't think he, as a person, horrible. But
this is the part of our podcast where Carl just starts bitching about Miles Teller.
I know that should be
took longer than usual this week.
That should be another podcast. Things I hate about Miles Teller.
Oh my God, he's awful. There you go. We know in parentheses Miles Teller.
Yeah. Well, for legal reasons, they couldn't call. What the hell, Miles Teller? They just
he wouldn't sign off.
I was waiting for him to find a way to shoehorn that in this week.
I actually lectured him once when I interviewed him because I'm a film
serious?
critic.
Oh, yeah.
And I did a podcast when he did Spectacular Now, and he had already done like 2 or 3 stupid sex comedies that weren't even funny. And I love I own the American Pie movies. I own the first Hangover. but this was like a bad one. I forget the name of it. It was like a Wild Night at College. It went wrong, and it was just an awful movie. And I was like, dude, what are you doing movies like that when you're capable of Spectacular Now and Whiplash? And he was like so surprised that somebody. I'm like, seriously, man, you got potential to be like another Tom Hanks or something if you just pick your movies better. And he's like,
and then he asked if you watch the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson.
Exactly. All right, well, hey, I think we're just about out of time here. So, where can people find out more about you and check out your movie, of course, and also where you're performing?
Yeah, so I have a website, stevemazan.com. You can go to that. But actually, Facebook is probably the best place to stay in touch with me, or Twitter. So it's Steve Mazan, M-A-Z-A-N. Twitter's Steve _ someone beat me to my name somehow. Steve _ Mazan, M-A-Z-A-N. So I'm in those places a lot. And right now, free. You can see the movie Do Letterman. Again, I don't even feel like I'm bragging about it because I'm bragging about the filmmakers themselves. You will like it, I promise. And it's got a lot of other comedians besides me in it talking about comedy. And it's free if you have Amazon Prime. It's free, so you money back guarantee. But yeah, and I'll be touring a bunch. In fact, I'm doing a Midwest tour. The dates will probably be up on Facebook on my website soon. Starting April and May, I'm going to be on the road across the country. So
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. We're happy you're still with us.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And I would like to, on a personal note, add, I think Kevin is a great name for a tumor.
We'll start with Kevin. Would you
just throw that out there?
Can I start with you three?
It's a strong name.
Fine?
Please.
Yeah, with that.
We'd be so honored.
It's about time someone named something after me.
It's like naming a star.
You three, then we'll have Gene, Paul, Peters.
I was going to say my dad might argue with the idea of naming a tumor after me, but only because that might insinuate that I'm also capable of growth. So.
Hey. Wow. So, I want to say thanks to everybody for listening. Until next time, I'm Carl Kozlowski,
Kevin Corcoran,
Dr. David Robinson,
and Steve Mazan.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks.